count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Kai, fire! Now. Kai, fire! Fire! Now. Let the fire enter now.
Shadow to heal like Paul is your heart bleeding like the heart of Paul. Is your heart bleeding? That even when Paul will be beaten, accused, shipwrecked, when he gets up from the prison, the next thing is to think, where can I preach for God? The life of signs and wonders is not for weaklings. It's not for those who wish. It's for those whose hearts are bleeding for God. Until you begin to see problem that you can solve for God, God will not anoint you for it. I have found David with my holy oil. He is coming to serve me. Everything that troubles my kingdom troubles him. Everything that gives shame to me gives him shame. There are some people, even if you come to church next Sunday, this roof is no more here. You will be happy. It won't even bother you. Because your heart is not bleeding for God. God only bleeds for those whose hearts are bleeding for him. God is looking for men and women whose hearts are bleeding to show himself great and mighty on their behalf. Our assignment this morning is to understand the place of your heart and your access to a life of signs and wonders. The place of your heart and your access to a life of signs and wonders. Until your heart is totally for God, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your strength, with all your mind. Then you will not see signs and wonders. The next assignment is to understand what to do to develop a bleeding heart. What to do to develop a bleeding heart. When you see the difference between two men of God, it's not because one pray before more than another. It's their heart that makes heaven to respond. It's their heart. It's their heart. There are men who not give themselves rest because they want to see the work of God excel. That's why I really congratulate the sanctuary cleaners. While others were feasting, they were cleaning this church. I was here with them. Because what would they say? Pastor is sleeping, and we his slaves were here. So if you see, they say this church is shining. It's a sacrifice. It's a bleeding heart. Some were conscious who were supposed to be there. But how are we going to worship God? So, what it takes to have a bleeding heart. What are the requirements of a heart bleeding for God? A heart bleeding after God's word. A heart bleeding after God is point number one. A heart bleeding after God. Early will I seek David here is our first case study. Early will I seek is a word from the king. I was glad when they say, let us go into the house of the Lord. His heart is after God, and God knows it. When his heart is after me, he does not need to struggle after enemies. I will beat down his enemies. What I